It is just awesome to be here with y'all today. When you get a chance to come to this press conference, you know that it's been a great year and opportunity and a privilege to play for the overall ACC championship. I'm just really proud of our team. But first of all, I'd like to congratulate Miami and Coach Rick and his staff. What a year they've had. Just really magical, to study them and to watch the season unfold the way it has. They have just done a tremendous job. So, this is a special opportunity for both teams. I mean, this is two champions. Both teams have earned their division championship and going to compete tomorrow night for the overall championship, and we're both excited about that. There's no doubt. But I'm really proud of our team. Every year it's a new journey and a new challenge, but this team in particular has been a lot of fun to be around and to watch, mature and develop, find a way to win different ways. And, it's great to be back here. This is last year we were picked to be here and we were here, and that was a different type of a challenge. This year we weren't picked to be here, but we're here. And so the credit goes to the players and our staff, and I'm just really thankful for a tremendous amount of hard work and effort, commitment, dedication, belief that our team has exemplified. All year long. So just ready to get it going tomorrow night, and I know it's going to be a great competitive game, and we're just thankful to have the opportunity to be here, and I appreciate Charlotte and the city and everything that the host committee does to make this a great event for the ACC.
Okay, questions, raise your hand, let us know who you are, who you're with, and wait for the handheld mics to get to you, please. First question to our left.
Coach, Mike DePasquale, the Fox affiliate in Miami. You just mentioned a special opportunity, and the season's been a lot of fun. The experience of your team, where no stage is too big, is that an advantage? And a follow-up question, you had mentioned that earlier that you can't help but notice the turnover chain. Does that have a psychological effect, do you think?
Well, as far as the first part of your question, experience, I think at this point, we're in the game 13, and they're in the game. I've been saying 11-1 all week, but they're 10-1. I know they had one because of the hurricane, but they're in the game 12. And so these are two experienced teams. I know this is the ACC championship, and they haven't necessarily played in this game, but this game is no different than the other games. Every game's big in college football. I mean, when they played Florida State, that's a pretty big stage. When they played Notre Dame, that's a pretty big stage. So trust me, their team has big game experience, and they have come up, and they've been on the road and made huge plays to win big games. Georgia Tech, Florida State. So they'll draw on that. That's what really matters. And it's the same thing for us. We've had great experience this year in big games. It's not like we can say, okay, we've got ACC championship experience. Well, a lot of those guys with that experience aren't here anymore. We've got some guys, and I think they understand that, but the same things that will win all those other games, it takes that to win this game. And so that's what we focus on. We don't really get caught up in the magnitude of the moment or make one game bigger than the other. We just get ready to try to go play well, get a good plan. We know that every single week we're going to get every team's best effort, and now certainly you're playing another great football team that wants the same thing you want. So it's going to come down to just our plan to win and who can execute the best. And as far as the turnover chain and all that stuff, the name of the game is points. And they've had an unbelievable year creating turnovers, but so have we. We've scored 77 points off of turnovers this year. They've scored 72. So both teams, and we ain't had a chain or anything like that, but both teams have had incredible years and have been very opportunistic when it comes to creating turnovers and scoring points off of those turnovers, both teams. And I think that's a major reason why we're 11-1 and a major reason why they're 10-1. We've scored a non-offensive touchdown in all 5 road games. Pick sixes, scoop score, punt return for a touchdown. So, that's what we focus on every single week. And I don't have any doubt this game, it's not going to come down to a chain. It's going to come down to players making plays and taking care of the ball, creating turnovers and field position and big plays. That's what wins championship football.
All right. Hey, Dabo. It's
Hey.
Chris Heidel from Harperspin Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how
Hey,
you
good
doing?
voice.
Yeah, 2 years ago in the
Yeah.
same spot.
Yeah.
You're bringing your third different quarterback here. The last 2 you were here, you had Boyd and Watson. What did Kelly Bryant do for preparation this week, from watching Watson last year and, the other quarterback you saw here a couple years ago?
He did the same thing that he's done all year. Just have a good Monday practice, Tuesday practice, Wednesday practice. I know y'all want me to give you some great answer, but we just don't do anything different. Whether we're playing in the championship game or we're playing in the second game or the 5th game or the 6th game, we believe in how we prepare. It's a very systematic approach to it, and we don't do anything different. Other than what we do every week, and that's study the opponent. Put in the work from a practice standpoint, extra film standpoint, and get yourself physically and mentally ready to go. No different this week. We had a huge game last week, and it's going to take that type of focus and confidence and mindset to have a chance in this one.
Front row here.
Brandon O'Doy, football hotbed. Coach, about Kelly, his 5-star kid, comes in, he has to sit, he has to mature, he has to, trust the process. Can you just talk about him as a young man as far as, trusting in this? A lot of kids get antsy, they want to play right away, and just, having a guy like Deshaun in front of him and what he took from that, and just take us behind the scenes, behind the veil, if you will, of what he's done and the significance of bringing you back to this point.
Yeah. I don't think he was a 5-star. Who? Any of our questions? Well, as a person. Oh, he's a 10-star person. You way sold him short. But he really is. If it's a 5-star scale, he's a 10-star. You're talking about a great young man. That's why I wanted him. He had an awesome, and I got to see him up close. My son played at Rival High School. I watched one night him bring Wren High School. We got to game 1. I'm literally leaving the stands to get back to the team, and there's 34 seconds on the clock, and I'm like, this one's over. 34 seconds, he takes Wren down the field to win the game, and I'm going, wow. He's a winner. And, the best of the best make everyone around them better. And that's exactly what Kelly Bryant does. He's a special young man, just a person, who he is. He was a great student in high school. In fact, I read there was a young guy, just a student at the school, that wrote an essay on Kelly Bryant. And I actually read it to the team, I don't know, early part of the season, because I was making a point of this is who Kelly Bryant is. And that's who he was then too. And the point being to Kelly, you just continue to be who you are. And a reminder of how you impact other people. And when you don't think people are watching, they are. And to really embrace the stage and platform that he has, and to continue to just be who he's always been. And when I recruited him, I didn't recruit him to be Deshaun. I just recruited him to be Kelly Bryant. That's what we do with all of our players. And but he came here. It was a dream of his to come to Clemson, and he knew when he came in here that Deshaun was already here and rolling. But he embraced that, and he came in and had to continue to develop. But I think the best part about Kelly, because one of the keys to any football program is how guys are developing when they're not playing, mentally and physically. How are they staying engaged and focused on the process and, developing the mindset when they're not playing? Maybe they're redshirting, or maybe they are the third team quarterback. and they're just not getting a lot of opportunity. And what I love about Kelly is for 2 years, he had a front row seat to a phenomenal player in Deshaun Watson, who's also a 10-star person. But how he prepared, how he got ready, how he handled the bright lights, how he handled failure, how he handled criticism, just his weekly commitment in his preparation, all of those things. And I think he really took note of that. Just learned a lot, and he put the work in. He prepared every week to go be the guy, even though he probably wasn't going to play, barring an injury. And I think that has paid off for him. He came out this spring, and I don't think any of us really knew, because he really hadn't had the amount of reps. He certainly hadn't been the first guy running out there. But this spring, we just kind of saw him. I think early, I think he was pressing a little bit. I got to look like Deshaun or this or that, and I think eventually he kind of let that go. And it's like, listen, I got here being Kelly Bryant, and that's what's going to make me be successful here as well. And just embraced who he is, and just has gone to work to be the best version of himself. He brings different things to the table, some similar things as Deshaun, but also some different things that make him special. And it's been fun to watch him grow and mature. So he's a new player this year, but he's a very mature new player. And I think that's what you've seen, and the team has rallied around him. He's created a confidence in our team. He's provided great leadership. In fall camp, nobody has had more pressure on them than Kelly Bryant. Nobody. He wasn't even supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be playing another position. If you listen to everything that's written or said or whatever. And that's the world these young people grow up in nowadays. Decisions are made before you ever even practice, in the social media world. But this kid has put his blinders on, and he's stayed focused, and he's had an incredible belief in himself, and he's put the work in, and he came into camp, and he just separated. And as a coach, we evaluate performance, not potential. And he earned it through performance. And then it's like, okay, well, let's go see how he does on game day. And it's just been just one thing after another where he has risen up and provided the great leadership, the great decision, the great throw, the great run all year long. So we're not 11-1 without Kelly Bryant, but I'm really happy for him. I'm proud of him. Nobody deserves it more. And, I know he's excited about, playing tomorrow night and in his first ACC championship game.
Back right, far back right.
Hey, Coach. Hayes Permar, Sports Channel 8. I know you're focused on this game. In your profession, there's some other folks who are dealing with some insanity of coaching hires and coaching rumors and things like that. You came in a somewhat rare position of being elevated from interim coach. Has that affected at all your position with Clemson and maybe avoided some of the crazy storms that happen around coaching carousel all the time? And then do you have any advice for fans who sometimes get too caught up in college football?
I don't know if I understand the question. Is it affected my...
As opposed to going through a coaching search where, nowadays it seems like fans are going to have a say when you're getting hired. You were promoted from within and didn't have to go through some of that.
Oh, yeah. If there had been a cyber jury in 2008, I don't get this job. There's no question about that. I'd been, if they'd have just did a poll, I'd have been the last man on the poll. So I'd be somewhere, but I wouldn't be here. That's for sure. So I'm glad that Terry Don Phillips didn't pay attention to a vote. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Terry Don. So he just was convicted enough in his belief in me, and we've been very fortunate, and I think that's one of the reasons that our program is where it is we've been able to have a lot of continuity and a lot of consistency and just alignment. We have a great chain of command at Clemson. Our board of trustees, our president is amazing, our AD, our administration. We just have good chemistry and good alignment. We're all on the same page, and we all love Clemson. We all want to win, but we want to win the right way. And, we try to do it by loving our players and graduating our players. And it's been a lot of fun.
Back to the room.
Darren Stoltzfus, ABC News 4 Charleston. Last year in Orlando, you talked about the difficulty of maintaining your program, keeping it at this level. I don't know if surprised is the right word, but are you surprised how well your team has played to get back here to be 11-1 and in the college football playoff hunt again?
I'm not surprised. I am pleased and proud of the performance and effort put forth by our players and our staff. Not surprised because, to be honest with you, this is what we expect. I mean, it's a mentality, it's a mindset, it's our culture. I mean, we've won 81 games in 7 years, so these guys think they're supposed to win. And that's where it starts. You got to win in the mind before you win anywhere. And our guys, they just believe and they think they're supposed to win. And when we don't win, it's like, wow, all right, we lost. Okay. All right, well, why did we lose? Let's go back to work. And they just don't ever kind of lose focus. And I think that's, again, a credit to just the culture that we have that's been established over the last 8 years. And, so these guys, and then recruiting and developing your players. In college football, you're going to have guys leave every year. You're going to have turnover. You're going to have guys that they got it, man, they got it. And they take that with them. And now you got new guys who don't have it. And you've got to start over every single year with who you are and why you do it that way, what's your core values, and just really reinstall all that. And that's what we do. And then you have guys like Kelly Bryant. Nobody knows who Justin Falcinelli is. He was a gray shirt guy. He's a fourth-year junior, and he's got to step in and be the starting center, and he makes first-team All-ACC this year. Well, that's just development, and it's stick-to-itness, and it's perseverance, and it's belief, and it's just buying into the program. And I think our guys know if they'll hang in there, eventually they're going to have their opportunity and their time. And they got to be good enough because the best player is going to play. So we just have a lot of guys that, Trey Lamar, I know he's not playing in this game, but here's a kid that, he covered kicks last year, a good freshman who was ready for more this year. Kayvon Wallace, Isaiah Simmons is a freshman. So we've recruited well, and I think we've evaluated and developed well. And we've gotten the right guys to help us sustain and maintain some consistency in our program.
Back to the room again.
Coach Nick Carboni, NBC Charlotte. It's obviously more important to be in the game as to where it's played, but to be back here in Charlotte after a one-year hiatus, how important is that for the ACC, and how much of a benefit is that to Clemson as well?
Well, I think it's great. We really enjoyed our experience in Orlando. That was a crazy situation, as we all know, and I thought the city of Orlando did a great job on kind of a short-term notice, if you will, and so did our ACC folks in trying to pull all that together and make it a great game, and it was great. But there's something special about being here. The city, the opportunity to play in this stadium, the location of it. The people of Charlotte just do an unbelievable job. There's a great partnership between Charlotte and the ACC, and there has been for a long time. So I think it's just very smooth. Our fans love it, and I'm sure we'll have a great crowd there. And look forward to enjoying the moment.
Back left? Yeah. No? Okay. Back to the room. Wait for the mic, please.
Sorry. Sorry. What? Oh, okay. Hey, Coach, Julia Morris with CBS out of Myrtle Beach. It seems like there's something about this time of the year and Hunter Renfrow. What's it been like for you to watch his journey from a walk-on to seeing him step up for you guys time and time again in big moments?
Oh, I love it. We Orange Britches come out and Hunter Renfrow shows up. He's just amazing. I know all you folks down there from Myrtle Beach and Socastee, y'all enjoy following Hunter, but I love Hunter Renfrow. He's a joy to be around every day. First of all, he's another just great young man. He is such a such a genuine, authentic, sincere young person that if you meet him, you'd never in a million years know that he's Hunter Renfrow. You know, he's got this persona. I mean, everybody knows Hunter Renfrow, but if you met him, you'd never know that's Hunter Renfrow. He's just such a neat kid, and I'm just really proud of him. But he's had a phenomenal journey, and you know, it's going to continue. You know, he's still got believe it or not, he's still got another year. A lot of people are not happy about that, but he's still developing. You know, he's just a guy that came in 155 pounds, and now he's 181 maybe, and he's still got more in the tank. I'd like to get him up to 188, 190, continue to get him stronger. Maybe he can do 225 twice, and you know, we still got some work to do with him before he's a finished guy, but he's going to be a great pro one day. I mean, he really is, and he'll be a fun guy to watch for a long time. I mean, he's just a very gifted athlete. He's explosive. He's got great ball skills, but he's become a complete receiver now that he really understands just the intricacies of playing the position. You know, just how to vary things up, his stems, his releases, his influence in his routes, his eyes, his break points, just technique. So just proud of him, and we just know that, you know, he's going to come up big somewhere, you know, along the way. And he plays relentless. He made a huge block last week on a reverse. Obviously made a couple of big catches, touchdown run of 60 yards or whatever. He's just a kid that loves it. He's passionate about it, and, you know, proud of him.
Back left.
Coach, once again, Mike DePasquale, the Fox affiliate of Miami. Malik has two less weapons on offense for this game. Herndon and Richards are out. Is that an advantage for your defense, or do the Canes have other weapons that can exploit your defense?
Yeah. Oh no, they got plenty of weapons. You know, it's kind of like us in that, you know, I mean, we got Trey Lamar's out, Mark Fields is out, but we've had other people step up, and we've had different things like that all year long. And I think you know, that's the key to being good, is you got to have other players. And when you look at their roster and you see 18, he's 6'4", 220 something pounds. You see 81, 80, 3 and 4 can fly. You know, I think they just, other guys get more opportunities. 8 leads them. You know, he's the guy, and has been all year. He's been their best playmaker. Richards and 23. Those are two great players, no doubt about it. But they'll have guys ready to go, and it's unfortunate. You know, I hate it for those two young men, really, to be honest with you, because they've worked really hard and they were a big part of their success. But you know, it's just kind of part of it. And you know, both these teams have so much to be proud of, and no matter what happens tomorrow night, whether we win or whether we lose, I'm incredibly proud of our team and our season and what they've accomplished, and I'm sure Mark feels the same way. So, but they got some guys. There's no doubt about it. So, you know, they're going to do what they do. They're not going to all of a sudden change and run some different offense just because one guy's out. They're going to put the next guy in there, and he was recruited to the University of Miami for a reason, I can assure you.
Second row. To our right.
Coach, Zach Altif, Sporting News. What do you?
Oh, okay, Coach.
Sorry, Coach. What do you think about the job Mark Richt has done at Miami? You know, this is a team that 2 years ago you beat 58-0. He comes in and has them on the cusp of an ACC championship. Can you just talk about what he's been able to do there in Miami?
It's incredible. I mean, I've enjoyed watching it because I'm a Mark Richt fan. I always have been. I've always thought a lot of Coach Richt. He's the real deal. He's a good man. He's a great football coach. He's a great husband. He's a great father. I think he's about the right things and always has been. And I've just, as a younger coach, kind of coming up and watching his, you know, ascension, as if you will, I've just always paid attention to Coach Richt. And unbelievable job he did at Georgia. So I'm not surprised at all. I think it was a great hire by Miami, a great fit. I think he was able to come in and unite just the former players, the fan base, just bring a different mindset and structure and culture, if you will. And it's pretty, and he's having fun. That's the other thing. I've had a chance. I've known Mark and have been around him in different situations, but I've never been in meetings with him. And so to have an opportunity to sit in coaches' meetings, and he's a very good guy. He's very smart, but he's having fun. I think he's just really enjoying the moment down there and the journey. John, his son, is there on the staff, and he's a great young coach, and so. It's an amazing job that he's done. He's created a belief and great energy in the program and chemistry, and giving them, like I said, some just good direction moving forward. I think it's great for our league.
Again, to our right here.
Hey, Dabo. I talked to Dorian this week on the phone. He's from my area, the Beltway, Baltimore. Talk about
good counsel.
Yeah. Talk about how he come to Clemson, and talk about his development as a good linebacker.
Well, Dorian was a running back at Good Counsel up there in Maryland, and he played linebacker too. And we felt like he could be a great linebacker. But boy, when he got there, he wasn't real interested in football. To be honest with you, he was more interested in, what was going on campus. He was a guy that I don't think ever thought about football outside of the little time we would have him, and it was just a lot to learn for him. He had a lot of football to learn, and it just took him a little while. He always has had the skill and the physicality, the explosiveness, but he had to develop physically. He had to get stronger, but more importantly, he had to develop mentally. He had to learn the game, and he had to become a dependable, relentless, committed player. Otherwise he wasn't going to get on the field for Brent. And, so that's kind of his journey. And, he redshirted his redshirt freshman year. He was our, special teams player of the year. He's always been a great special teams guy. But he started to kind of, after that sophomore year, he kind of made a little bit, I think there was a switch that went off like, you know what? They're not going to play me if I'm a 50-50 guy. If I play 10 plays and I get 5 busts and 5 pluses, they're not going to play me. Because that's kind of where he was. He'd make 5 great plays, and he'd make 5 horrible plays. And you're just scratching your head. And he just really dove in and got committed. And the rest is history. And I've seen a bunch of guys like that. I'm a very patient guy when it comes to player development. Especially when I know a guy has the ability. Sometimes it just takes a little longer. But he finally bought in, and he's a Butkus finalist. What a 2-year run he's had, and going to be a great pro. He's well prepared, and he's become one of the best leaders that we have. If you'd have told me 5 years ago that Dorian was going to be the guy, the Ben Boulware guy standing up in front of the team, I would have never believed that. But man, you got to give him all the credit, and Brent's just done an amazing job with Dorian.
Back right, red shirt.
Greg Wasaski, ABC Columbia. Coach, you've mentioned about the consistency of the program and how tough it is to play in this conference all year. As you guys are making your 3rd straight trip here, this is the 5th year that there's been a new champ out of the Coastal Division. Is there anything you've noticed as to why there's more diversity in that division of who's been making it to Charlotte or Orlando? And what have you noticed about how much tougher the road has been to get back to this game in your league?
I don't know that I've noticed much about the other side. It's just, it's been Virginia Tech was for a long time. They kind of had a heck of a run on that side, and then North Carolina popped in there, and then Virginia Tech was back. And I think, since Miami came in the league, you just felt like at some point, Miami was going to be there, and so here they are. But just been at Georgia Tech, we had them in our first championship game. So they've been in it a couple times. But, I think in our side, it's kind of come down to us in Florida State for whatever reason over the last few years. But it's hard, man. And this year in particular, it's been one of the most gratifying seasons that I've been a part of, just simply because of all the change and turnover, new coaches, I lost 2 great D-line coaches that have been with me from day one, a new safeties coach, and a new D-line coach coming in, and then obviously a lot of change on offense, so it's been a very gratifying year. And again, that's why I'll tell you, I'm just, if we ended today, I'm super proud of this group, and the efforts they put in.
Last question to our left.
Dabo, Matt Porter, Palm Beach Post. This has been rumored for a while about Jimbo, leaving Florida State. It looks like that is going to happen. The reports that he actually has left. I'm just curious how that hits you, and what does that mean for maybe your side of the conference?
Well, I'm not going to comment on anything that I don't know. I appreciate the question, but I have no idea. I haven't. Is he gone? He did what? Oh, is that like a tweet? Well, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I appreciate the question, but if it is, he's obviously feels like maybe it's the right move for him. I don't know, but I know that he did an unbelievable job at Florida State, and this is a business that's very public, as we all know, and from time to time you have to make decisions, and sometimes those decisions become very public, and the public's going to weigh in with how they feel about it. And if that's what he chooses to do, listen. I like Jimbo. It's been a great competitive journey. I've known him forever. When I was at Alabama and he was Auburn, and if that's what he's doing, then evidently he feels like that's the right move for him and his family, and the right time to do so. But Florida State's Florida State, and they'll hire a great coach. I don't have any doubt about that. And and I guess we'll see him next year if that's what he's going to do. We play Texas A&M for the next 2 years. I can't get rid of him. So still be a thorn in our side. But like I said, if that's accurate, I wish him nothing but the best, and I'm sure I'll touch base with him at some point.
Thank you, Coach. If everybody can just stay where they are for a little bit, we're going to bring in Coach Rick.